Good afternoon, I'm David Alexander, the Chief Executive of DG Alexander and also the Chief Executive of Stonehouse by DG Alexander in Aberdeen. Well, the property market's holding up really well, and both in sales and in lettings. We're finding that demand is outstripping supply in most sectors. Properties coming onto the rental market renting very quickly at much higher rents than had been let previously. On the sales side of the market, we're finding properties obtaining above home report and selling very quickly, some within 2 to 3 weeks of coming to the market. This is a bit of an unknown at the moment, but common sense would tell me that if we continue to see inflation in double figures, that it must have some form of impact, especially in the sales market. I think when the cost of living starts to squeeze with increasing energy prices and increasing fuel prices, it must at some stage filter through to the property market. So I think we have to be cautious. We're certainly not seeing any signs of it at the moment, but common sense and logic would tell me that maybe into next year we'll start to see a bit of a cooling, especially in the sales market. The rental market, as I say, continues to have, when you have an acute shortage of properties and we're seeing more people looking at maybe liquidating their asset, we will see rents continuing to rise for the foreseeable future. There's pretty good demand through most of the sectors in the sales market, but we are seeing at the kind of lower end of the market anything up to 250, 300,000 being in big demand by buy-to-let investors. Obviously, first-time buyers competing against them. Anything again with a bit of outside space up to 500,000, 600,000 we're seeing again being snapped up pretty quickly. And at the real top end of the market, the kind of Uber market is holding up very well. So all sectors of the market, anything that's well priced, well presented, is well received in the current market. I think undoubtedly the main challenge for the landlords in the coming months and coming years will be increased mortgage rates. Not only for people who are on variable rates, but there'll be a number of people who are on fixed rates, but there will be fixed terms. So they will need to renegotiate these terms, and undoubtedly the rates will be higher than they've had in the past. Now, to offset that, we are seeing quite substantial rent increases and properties renting for substantially more than had been let before. So hopefully it's a fine balancing act. Although there will be an increased cost per month for the landlord, hopefully that will be offset by the increased rent that we're able to achieve in the coming months and years. At the moment, we're noticing increased demand for the regeneration areas in Edinburgh, for instance, like the West End at Haymarket, where we're seeing some large commercial and residential buildings going up. We're also seeing the same demand east side of town, St James Centre, and as we have the trams now going all the way down to Leith, I think that some of these areas will start to show some really good capital appreciation, and it is a good place to invest. Big demand in parts of the regenerated parts of Glasgow, Aberdeen. With oil over $100 a barrel, we're starting to see bigger demand for people investing in Aberdeen. And as yields in Aberdeen are already in double digit, if we can couple that with some good capital appreciation, a lot of smart money I think will end up investing again in Aberdeen. I think the best advice I can give to current landlords at the moment is to think about the asset that they have, and when a tenant gives notice, it's an opportunity to potentially upgrade the property that you have. Yes, we're seeing increased demand, yes, we're seeing rents rise, but it is imperative that landlords spend a bit of money and keep the standard of the property up. I know it's been tough over the last couple of years with COVID and lockdown and various difficulties, but it is hugely important that any landlord in the future, when the tenant gives notice, think about spending a bit of money, keeping the standard up, upgrading it. The better tenant will come to the better quality properties. So the best advice I can give to a landlord is always, yes, it's been a good investment, it will continue to be a good investment, but remember, invest and it will pay dividends.